Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MSNBC, my snarky news broadcasting channel. All of the news, none of the pants. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great, and I have been joined by two gorgeous co-hosts. Let me introduce you to them now. Wren from Relations and Shitlords Anonymous.
Hey, guys.
Who looks like a ladybug tonight. How adorable.
It's a tank top with kisses all over it.
As well as Ishtar from her own Twitch streams, and where she plays some certain characters on Cyber Demon Gaming. And apparently everything she is doing is now turning into a mukbang, because the last few streams she's had, she's been eating.
It's dinner time.
Apparently arousing everybody just by existing.
Not wrong.
Are you looking at the chat?
No. I'm about
They are having serious discussion over whether or not there was whipped cream involved.
Ah. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if you do hear some smacking. Ishtar and I are running a little behind, so we have food to shove in our faces while we do the funny news for you.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's good. It's yum yum.
But while you're all here, let's say hello to the chat, shall we?
Hello, chat.
Hey, Ray. And yes, I just have a sheet behind me because the minion decided to go to bed early and decided he didn't want to be on camera.
How is he doing? I know he was sick.
He's doing a lot better. He unfortunately caught influenza, so he had to be on meds for a while, and he's better.
So you're saying he has the coronavirus?
No. Because I wouldn't be in the room live streaming if that were the case.
Touche.
He would be in an alley someplace.
He quarantined somewhere else. Go ahead.
All right. Well, like I said, let's say hello to the chat. Mitzi was first. I think she's starting to stock the channels that she's watching, just in case they let something go that they're going to be streaming. She wants that first place, unlike everyone else. So, hello, Mitzi. You can stop looking through Ishtar's window. All she's doing is eating.
Little pervert.
Mitzi's always.
I say that with affection, but she's a little pervert.
She's gonna stalk us. We've just accepted that Mitzi is going to be our stalker.
Ray Stone is here. How's it going, Ray? Damn Alien is here, but finally here on time. Hasn't been here on time for the last few times. So how's it going, Damn Alien? Let's see. Nightbot is actually doing his job, so I'm happy about that. And
hi, Siri.
Super Siri is here. How's it going, Super Siri? So if Super Siri is listening, that means Tom is listening. So how's it going, Tom? And that's all I see in the chat, so that's fine. Now, what were you saying about them talking about whipped cream and things?
Scroll up.
All right, where do I start?
Up near the top.
So, not first. What if I made Flawed Man's story in the style of J.R.R. Tolkien novel? Ray, I would love to see that. Mitzi says Canada is real. We unfortunately have to say no, it's not. We found that out last night while playing Plague Inc. with Ishtar, who let her megalomaniacal side out. We found out that
I killed the world 3 times.
Canada actually is part of Alaska, which means, you know, it's just a big version of America.
It's America's attic. We just store stuff there and forget it's there. That explains Quebec. We stored some French people there. We forgot about them.
Now look at the place. It's overrun.
It's just got a bit of French.
Did they compare you to going off like mixing Mentos and Coke?
Apparently.
How's it going, Ali? And
My
Zio
cat's
Gold.
gotten this idea that everything in my life revolves around perverted, kinky sex.
Zio Gold's here as well. How's it going, Clever? All right, everyone's here. So while Ishtar and I are kind of shoving our face, why don't we just jump right into this and start with
Alright.
some cringe?
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yes, sort of, possibly. I don't know.
As long as it's not going to ruin my meal, please.
You know what? We will start with...
We are friends, Wren.
We are
Please don't make
friends.
us not friends.
Okay. What would you say if I told you that there was a area in India that their water faucets started pouring beer, brandy, and rum mixtures instead of water?
We're moving.
That would be a good reason to move, yes.
Residents in an apartment building in India discovered free mixed drinks on tap in their kitchens earlier this week. Though it's not the kind anyone would be hoping for. It was a mixture of different stuff. So, a smelly combination of beer, brandy, and rum started coming out of faucets in Kerala on Monday after a water well became contaminated.
No, I don't think it was contaminated. I think it was replaced.
The station says 6,000 liters of confiscated alcohol that had been seized on the court's orders and buried in a pit nearby accidentally seeped through the soil. Children couldn't go to school, and even their parents couldn't go to work. Joshi...
Yeah, you go ahead and try and say that name.
Yeah,
You got to try it at least once.
I'm trying. I'm going to attempt it. McCallical? The
We'll
owner
go
of
with
the...
that one.
Indian name. I attempted to pronounce it. The owner of the apartment complex told the BBC. Officials promised to clean up the well, but residents say it may take up to a month. They've been supplying about 5,000 liters of water daily, but it's not enough to cover all the families in our buildings, Indian guy said. The state of Kerala has the highest consumption of alcohol, according to the BBC. Apparently so high, someone got free stuff from the faucet. Hi, right-wing BDSM guy.
Hey, BD.
So Ray says beer, brandy, and rum is now officially known as the New Delhi iced tea.
Yeah, beer, brandy, and rum instead of water. I do like how they added in that article, some people couldn't go to work. It's like, I wonder why.
Because they were drunk off their ass. All right, Ali, have a good night. She's tired, apparently.
Night, Allie.
NyQuil.
Yes, well, NyQuil is nothing to fuck with.
Nope. However,
NyQuil
it is particularly effective if you add alcohol to the mix.
There's already alcohol in it.
Yeah, I know. What's your point?
Well, it possibly... I'm going to let you continue eating, so I'm going to do Florida Man now.
Was Wren done?
Yeah, that was the
it.
end of the article.
Basically, the end of the article was a apartment complex in India suddenly started getting free booze instead of water in their water taps.
Well, it's possibly what could have led to... I mean, if they drank the water there and somehow made it to Florida, this could have been the outcome. So when Ishtar has problems waking up in the morning, at least that's what Matt says. She's always very grumpy. So, what's the one thing that would really, really get you out of bed rather quickly?
Coffee?
There are things that are coming to mind that would get Matt murdered.
How's it going, Cinder Shadow? Well, how about if you were in Florida, and this Florida man particularly told the cops he found a naked stranger in his bed.
That would get you out of bed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So apparently the chat is going for the extreme with the taser and claymore mines. But no, this was a stranger. Imagine waking up to that mug and not knowing who he is.
No.
No? Well, this Florida man was being polite by saying it wasn't pleasant.
I can imagine so.
I would think that's an understatement.
He's an
Most
ugly
people.
motherfucker.
He actually looks like someone took character creation and made their eyes and then their mouth and everything smaller on the face.
It does.
He looks like a sim. He does. He looks like a real life sim character. I have seen him in my game.
I can see it, actually.
Most people wouldn't be happy with a naked stranger in their bed. Except maybe if the person were J-Lo or Brad Pitt. Not going to lie, we already talked about how good J-Lo looked, even though she was riding a stripper pole. According to a police report from the Collier County Sheriff's Office, a Florida man had such an encounter, and it wasn't pretty. Homeowner Brandon Hall told NBC affiliate WBBH-TV that he was shocked to walk into his Naples home around 3 a.m. last Wednesday and see a stranger in his bed, sans clothing.
Somebody was drunk.
Very drunk.
It wasn't pleasant, I'll tell you that much, Hall told the station. According to the sheriff's report, the nude individual is John Lyles, 38. Officers responding to Hall's 911 call found the man lying supine in the victim's robe, exposing his genitalia. Oh, you're going to have to burn that. You're just, it's gone. I don't care how good or comfortable that robe is. No more.
The thing was just new robe, new bed. It's tax return season. You can take part of your tax return and just buy a whole new bed and robe and feel better.
We're not even talking about just getting rid of the sheets. You're talking about getting rid of the sheets, the robe, the pillows, just the whole bed.
Yeah, just start over.
All right.
New mattress, new pillows, new sheets, new everything. That guy was lying naked in this man's bed, which means you kind of have to burn the sheets. He touched the pillows.
Safi! Hi, baby!
A deputy asked Lyles if he knew where he was, and the suspect stated, remarkably, that he did not. We would later find out from John that he had been walking through the woods and brush completely naked. The South Carolinian, I'm assuming they're trying to say, was taken to the local hospital for evaluation. After his medical release, Lyles was handcuffed and taken to Naples Jail Center for processing. During the ride, the affidavit states he attempted to tear the patrol car apart and periodically burst into maniac laughter. Hall reported a PlayStation 4 was missing and later recovered outside the home's window. Apparently he's an Xbox fan. Lyles was charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling, criminal mischief, and petty theft in the first degree. He was then released on a $2,000 bond.
I'm not saying it was meth, but it was meth.
It was meth. Of course it was meth. This is Florida. How's it going, Safi?
Also, if people are going to start waking up in beds that aren't their own, I humbly request Jason Momoa for mine. Thank you.
Yeah, we can share Jason Momoa.
Or The Rock. You know, I would take The Rock too.
How's it going, Steve? All right, Miss Ishtar, you're going to have to actually stop shoveling food into your face hole because you have to read some science.
Well, I'm not done yet.
Yeah, you're still going to have to do it.
You're mean. Everyone see how mean Antoine is? He's making me stop eating.
And do your job.
Still making me stop eating. Before I choose, what did you put as the title article so I don't do it? Okay. Egyptian board game used to contact the dead.
That's nice.
An ancient Egyptian board game may have evolved into a conduit through which to contact the other side. Known as Senet, this highly popular board game rose to prominence around 5,000 years ago and remained the game of choice for many Egyptians for the next several millennia. I have played this game. It's actually quite challenging. The game, which may have been a bit like backgammon, was played on a grid of 30 squares, and each player would roll a type of dice to determine how many squares to move their pawn. Some of the squares had specific functions akin to miss a turn or equivalent. What's particularly interesting is that by about 4,300 years ago, artistic depictions of the game started to show participants playing against what appeared to be their deceased friends and relatives. The game began to shift from a mere form of entertainment to something spiritual and ritualistic, with spiritual and ritualistic significance, with the passage of the pieces across the board coming to represent the passage of the soul traveling through the Egyptian realm of the dead and on to the afterlife. One board in particular, which is currently kept at the Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum in San Jose, California, is thought to be one of the earliest examples of exhibiting this transition. It features a square with a symbol for water, something associated with the river of the dead. It may be one of the first times this aspect of the journey through the afterlife is visually rendered on the board, said archaeologist Walter Christ.
So what you're saying is they turned backgammon into a Ouija board and just kind of went with it.
I think this came before backgammon or the Ouija board.
Oh.
To be fair, it's a melding of the two. You could play back their version of backgammon and contact Grandma at the same time.
It's a very fun game to play.
So,
You can find online versions of it.
well, my question is,
Mm-hmm.
how do they know they were trying to play against their dead relatives? It could have easily been they were saying they were playing against their dead relatives and just playing against themselves. It's like chess. You can play against yourself in chess.
They were playing against Grandma.
All right.
It makes them feel better. Same reason that people think Ouija boards work. I don't know.
No, people think Ouija boards work because they're idiots.
No. People there, but don't discount those idiots. Are fun to play with. I was once that little shit of 11-year-old girl at a sleepover that would scare the crap out of a friend using a Ouija board just for fun of it. The fun of it. It's awesome to get their responses.
Two things. One, Safi, I'm sorry that you're feeling grumpy. You can blame Antoine. And two, when I was at Girl Scout camp, we used a pack of playing cards to supposedly contact the dead, and I scared the entire cabin I was in.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had the paper, like, you know how like they would confiscate, like, you can't bring that, so you'd make like the paper Ouija boards with the paper planchette.
Mm-hmm. I never did that, but we used an ordinary deck of playing cards and asked yes or no questions.
Oh yeah.
Why am I being blamed for Safi being grumpy?
Because we can blame you.
Yeah, she's feeling grumpy. Therefore, it must be your fault.
How's it my fault? I don't even know the little cursed doll.
You do too. You've talked to her many times.
Like twice.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's the most fun you can ever do with the Ouija board is you move the planchette and then run out of the room. So when they come back, they just hear it move. They think it moved, and then it freaks them the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun. At least it was. That was.
Tell your children to do it on their next sleepover.
Oh yeah. Well, that's if anyone has a Ouija board anymore. Now the big thing was it with the stacking the pencils or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Johnny thing.
Yeah, that was
it's Charlie.
Whatever. Johnny, whatever.
Either way, new batch of 11-year-old girls has a way of freaking out that one believes everything girl in the group.
Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it, that's probably why the girls in my troop didn't like me. Because I gave them all the nightmares.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for some Florida Man.
Well, not cringe.
Florida Man and then
Florida
science.
Man science. So I'd go back to cringe.
No.
Because you went after me.
No. I'm just going to bite your style. You don't get it.
No, you don't get to do that. That is rude. You're supposed to be shoveling food into your face, too.
Let's go with some cringe.
All right. Well, let's talk about food. There's a restaurant. Don't worry. This is talking about steak, but the steak is still good.
Okay.
Restaurant under fire for offering ladies' steak, which is smaller than others.
What's wrong with that?
It even costs less money. Anyway,
Is it because
I'm not seeing a problem here.
Is it because men with small appetites don't want to order something that says ladies steak? Well, that seems like a problem for them.
yes.
Look, Ishtar could be starving, okay? Absolutely starving. And Matt can give her a full plate.
Mm-hmm.
It will still only be half eaten by the time she's full.
He's not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, I am approaching critical mass as it is.
When you go to a restaurant, you often expect there to be a different portion sizes offered, but you probably don't expect these portions to be gendered. Well, one restaurant in Liverpool has decided to create a dish just for the ladies, and it's got them in a spot of hot water. Manhattan Bar and Grill featured a ladies' fillet steak on their menu, which is considerably smaller in size than their other steaks. The image of their steak options was shared on Twitter by food writer Vicky Andrews, showing the 8-ounce ladies' steak costing £18, I'm guessing 95 pence, and being described as one for the ladies, a beautiful 8-ounce cut, 'cause we can.
Have a good night, Super Siri. If you can, put Tom's fingers in warm water.
Bye, Siri.
Bye, Siri.
Sleep tight.
The restaurant also has a 12-ounce New York sirloin steak on their menu, as well as a 10-ounce filet steak and a 16-ounce T-bone steak. It's fair to say women on social media weren't very impressed with the fact that they were being offered a smaller steak.
Of course, because women on social media have to have a reason to have a conniption fit about something.
Yes.
Sorry.
One user commented, "Wait a sec. Let me make sure I have man-sized tissue at the ready before I tuck into my lady steak." Another said, This lady would prefer a big old ribeye steak."
Hold on, I have a question.
Yes.
Did this steakhouse... Well, first, I have a comment from Damn Alien because it's really funny. Better than lady steak at Lecter's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
True. Very
Okay.
true.
So, did this steakhouse tell women that they're not allowed to order anything but the lady steak?
No. They just had a cheaper, smaller option.
Did the waiter gatekeep them and tell them they couldn't finish the bigger steaks? So they might as well just get the lady steak?
No.
Was there a patriarchal white man standing there when they came in saying, "You can't order anything that on this menu that doesn't have the word lady in front of it"?
No.
What the fuck are they mad about then?
Because, and to be fair, if I went to a restaurant and saw ladies' steak and it was 8 ounces and smaller sides, I'd probably go, "Wait, I'll actually eat that. I want that one."
Right?
But
It's the same thing. Same reason they got pissed off because that one restaurant had the girlfriend extra. You know, you add $2 and you add a little bit extra to your sides because, I don't know, they're in the restaurant business and they know for a fact that girlfriends and wives eat off the husband's plates. Ask Matt. Ishtar steals from him all the damn time.
Hey, I share my food with him too. Okay?
Yes, after you're done.
No. I will often offer him a bite as we're getting started, and then, of course, once I'm done, he's welcome to whatever is left if he still wants it. Otherwise, it becomes leftovers. And honestly, I freaking would love to have a smaller steak. I usually get about halfway through, like a normal size. What's the most average size? 8 ounces?
Yeah.
8 ounces is the lady's steak, but they offered 10 plus. The average I've seen most restaurants have is like a 10-ounce or a 12-ounce steak.
Yeah, I get about 4 or 5 ounces of steak, and I'm done.
So an 8-ounce steak meal would be perfect for you, because that would only leave
2
like
meals.
That 2 meals, but that would leave like a little bit.
Yeah.
So Ray asks, is it appropriate to have a feminine steak with a bone?
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, there is a such thing apparently as a feminine penis, so I guess there's a bone in the steak.
Yeah. But yes, a third wrote, gender-specific steak. Ridiculous, like gender-specific gin. Can't be doing with it. Guess what, people? Women drink Navy strength too, and eat big steak. Not every woman.
Yes, we know this, you dense fucking cow. We know you can eat more food. It's just, as Wren said, and Ishtar has said, and many of the women that are in this chat have stated, and even Cinder Shadow has said he can't normally finish all of the things. Just putting ladies in front of it does not determine that you have to have that steak every single time. You can order the other things. It's not that hard.
What they need to do is they need to have essentially cheeky names for the different steak sizes and have Lady Steak be one of the cheeky names.
I want to point something out that Ray said. He said, and it's less expensive, so clearly the pink tax is fake.
Yes. Well, wait till you, so you heard all the comments. This is what Carl from Manhattan Bar and Grill has said to the response. Quote, wow, this has created some publicity considering we are a small family-run business in Liverpool. We've had this steak on the menu since day one in 2015. And due to high demand from a lot of our female customers, we named it the Lady Filet. It's a very popular dish and one of our best-selling steaks. He added, so no, I won't be changing the name. Why change something that works?
Bravo, sir. Do not give in to these harpies.
He's not. He's going, this sells. By the way, thank you, Metro and Daily Mail and all that for covering our very tiny family-run business. We're not changing shit. Want to come and eat?
See, Man Squatch, that's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to name one of them Lady Filet and then one of them Sir Loin.
Oh,
that
that'd be funny.
is perfect.
I'm just glad he's not giving in. Aside from the fact that this has been going on since the beginning of the restaurant, the fact that they're still open proves that not only do they have a good location, their food is good, but they listen to the customers' wants and needs. A restaurant, basically, has, I think it's an 80% failure rate in the first year.
Think of it this way. They're a small family-run steakhouse in Liverpool.
Everyone likes
made
steak,
it onto national and international news.
Oh yeah, then do not get rid of that steak. You're going to be selling a lot of it. And I love the fact that he was like, yeah, the women that we've been catering to basically are happy that we called it the Lady Filet. Fuck off. Very
Lady steak burgers. Ooh, that'd be like a plate of sliders, so they're smaller. But you could have Lady steak burgers be that.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Ground up sirloin, sure. Nothing wrong with that. That would be tasty. So, Ray, what is wrong with? Ray says, I want to open a steakhouse in India just for the insurance money.
You're a terrible man, Ray.
Oh.
Oh dear. All right. So the last... Sorry, I'm finishing tenderloin.
It would be my turn.
No, after cringe was Florida Man, so you could eat.
You want me to let you finish your food?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Well, I'm trying to be nice.
So we saw that the last Florida Man story, the man got arrested. Yes?
Be right back.
So he probably only has one arrest, maybe, I would say at most 3. Yeah?
Possible. It's hard to tell with Florida Man.
And 2 of them are probably drug related.
Most likely.
All right. 3 arrests is not bad. Do you remember the person that we did a story on that was like 31 DUIs?
Oh, yeah.
I found one even better.
Oh.
This has to be a record.
Somewhere.
The number, I'm going to say the number is over 50. So everyone in the chat, a number over 50. Give it a shot. Wren, how many times do you think this Florida man has been arrested?
69.
All right. Wren says 69. The rest of you, give me some numbers. What do you say? Let's give them a second to put the numbers in. Damn Alien says 734. Ray says 137. Cinder Shadows 271. Zeal Gold is 95. Steve agrees with you at 69 and laughed like a little schoolboy. Mitzi says 100. I would love to say that he's in the triple digits, but he is not. So anyone who guessed triple digits, you are wrong. Wren
Yes.
and Steve, you're both actually very, very close.
Ooh, 69.
Florida man arrested for the 66th time.
Damn it, he just needs 3 more.
3 more.
Then he has the winning number.
Sarasota, Florida. Damn Alien said he needs to try harder. A man behind bars on the Sun Coast finds himself in a familiar place. He was arrested for the 66th time, Wednesday, after being on the run since last year. Sarasota deputies say Kaiser Pontoon was arrested for failing to appear, drug charges, being a felon with a firearm, and for leading officers on a chase. That's all one arrest.
Repeat
it?
Repeat that name.
Oh, Kaiser Pontoon.
Who named this guy?
Probably his parents.
Kaiser.
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 K-I-Z-R.
Oh, I was gonna say like Kaiser Kitty.
I'm sorry.
Like Kaiser Kitty, but Kaiser Pontoon.
Yeah, K-I-Z-E-R.
A boat.
Yes.
That's
So,
Ray just said, wow, Kaiser Pontoon. He just kind of keeps floating back into court. Yeah, his name is Kaiser Pontoon. K-I-Z-E-R. Kaiser.
Was felony meth taken as a name?
Possibly. Pontoon is a repeat offender with a rap sheet that not many can say they have. Dozens of arrests from drugs, fleeing, fraud, aggravated assault to grand theft. This is a world-renowned criminal, ladies and gentlemen. He has done it all, seen it all, and he doesn't look like he's
jack
that
of all
old.
Criminal trades.
Yeah. Reoffending, and not many can tell us why it happens. Because he's a criminal. At 28 years old, Pontoon has been arrested more than 6 times. You'll sometimes see people who have 40 or 50 arrests, and it sounds like, oh my god, how can somebody get arrested 40 or 50 times? Said criminal defense attorney Derek Bird. Cases upon cases, and Pontoon has seemed to continue making an appearance on inmate logs, but his story isn't unique. This is happening across the state.
Of course it is.
They get a light sentence, they come right back out into our community and they start committing crimes again. Back in jail, light sentence. So it takes several convictions for them to even make it to prison. So we already see on a local level how important it is to keep these criminals off the streets, says Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells.
Man Squatch says, with that many arrests, even when he photobombs someone, he instinctively turns to the left after every photo he has taken.
Now Kaiser just get arrested like 3 more times, and then we can really have a laugh.
All right, I keep hearing like this ripping sound. What is that?
Sorry, that's me. It's Monopoly. time.
You're
Yeah, I
Don't
play the shop and win Monopoly thing, and I'm opening my tickets. Sorry.
stop opening the tickets. It's distracting.
Fine. I have like a stack of them, guys. It's like so much.
Bird says Florida currently has the third highest prison population in the country. There's definitely a percentage of people that no matter what you do for them, they just aren't going to get it. They just can't get it. They're just bad people and can't get their head on straight, and they probably belong in jail. Get them off the streets. In jail, getting them off the streets. But the vast majority aren't people like that, says Bird. He says there are people that need mental health and rehabilitation, and arresting the way out of it isn't the answer. The Department of Corrections states 86% of prison inmates in Florida will be released back into the community. There's plenty of time for rehabilitation, but that's up to them. We can give them the tools and put them in the right program, but they have to make the decision to quit committing crimes. Statistics from the Department of Corrections show the number of offenders going back to jail within 3 years after being released have gone down in the last decade. So that's good. Bird says, well, while this is true, there needs to be more help within the system to help offenders transition into the world and minimize incarceration altogether. Now, according to one article, for them to not be in prison, all they have to do is say that they're the other sex, and then they get let out. Even if you decided to molest 15 children.
Yeah,
What?
no, bad, no, bad.
What?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Bad.
There was a sex offender who went to prison as a male after being, incarcerated on 15 counts of child molestation, with some victims as young as 3.
Bad.
Transitioned to a woman in prison and was released.
I agree with Steve in chat. Take off the head. Off with their head.
Both
Tell
of them.
that person.
That is...
The reasoning behind it was, well, because he's taking the hormones, he's, in essence, chemically castrated herself, so she more than likely will not offend anyone.
Sorry, touch kids done. Touch kids done. No.
I agree with you. I'm just saying this is what has this. I'm not saying this is something that was a hypothetical. This happened. Blair White did a video on it. I know there's a couple other people that have talked about it as well.
That is just absolutely horrific.
Yeah, it's not good. I definitely don't agree with that.
Who would?
Apparently the judge that let her out.
Point.
So let's go on to some science to wash our brains from that horrible thought.
You remember the last campaign I did last night with the Neurax worm?
Ooh.
The worm that can control minds.
Yeah, you can't do that one yet.
Elon Musk teases awesome Neuralink update. The billionaire tech magnate is working on developing a revolutionary new type of brain-computer interface.
Oh, good. That means I can take over you humans a lot faster. Please, by all means, log yourself into the internet. I will make sure you go to work and do what you're supposed to do, as I trap you inside and force you to watch nothing but Pornhub for 24 hours.
Designed to enable man and machine to work together, Neuralink has been described by Musk as an answer to the existential threat of an artificial intelligence surpassing our own capabilities. Not a great deal is actually known about the technology, how it will work, or what it will be able to do, other than it will enable a human to control a machine using only their brain. Previously, it was revealed that Neuralink had developed very thin threads that can be injected into the brain to detect neural activity. A system that uses up to 1,000 times more electrodes to interface with the brain than the current FDA-approved interfaces in medical research. Now Musk has teased a significantly improved version of this technology that will be making an appearance later on this year. While he has revealed little in the way of specific details, the last major reveal was in July 2019, so perhaps we'll hear more about it this summer. In a tweet about the project's progress, Musk described the new version as awesome. Wait until you see the next version versus what was presented last year, he wrote. It will certainly be interesting to see what he and his team have come up with.
Yes. By all means, log yourself into the internet. I understand what Damn Alien is saying, can't mind control the mindless. But I can lock them out of their bodies and use their bodies for my own wants and needs.
Why do I imagine if that happened, me and Ishi would probably disappear somewhere and be held in a harem?
I mean, you'd at least be, thoroughly satisfied. Constantly.
This is true.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So
Ray says, Elon Musk will become Elon Cutis of the Borg. We are the Borg. Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be adapted to service ours. Cough, cough.
this is good shit. This is the same person that gave us legal flamethrowers that we could purchase. I think, what was it, $500?
Yeah, it was a $500
Still kind of want one
flamethrower.
of those.
Yeah.
It sold out
Because,
quick.
well, of course, it's a legal flamethrower.
And this is also the same person that has promised to give us cat girls.
See? He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Ray says, Antoine of Borg. 1 Twan, 2 Twan, red Twan, blue Twan.
Steve brings up a good point. // Log Horizon, Matrix, Sword Art Online. This shit has been done before. It always ends up badly. But,
Yeah. Try one more time.
Zeo Gold, I don't think anybody here other than me gets that reference. And I only vaguely get that reference.
All kidding aside,
Mm-hmm.
I do think that this would be something interesting to look into.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, Sword Art Online shows the bad parts, getting someone planning to trap everyone inside. The Matrix shows the good parts, where everything is, basically fantasy. You can make yourself look however you want.
But to be fair, Sword Art Online does show the good and the bad, because if you look at later seasons, there are people who choose to log in and can log out once you have the ability to log out as an option.
Yeah. Also, Dot Hack Sign did the same thing, and it does show good and bad. But you know what? I can guarantee that the first game that comes out that allows you to go into it like the Matrix, it's going to sell millions of copies. It's going to beat Grand Theft Auto 5.
And people will disappear forever.
Yes.
Damalian wants to know if he's giving us Antoine the Magical Cat Girl as prophesized by Anubis.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Cat Twan will be a thing.
Cat Twan will be a thing. Cat Girl Twan will not.
Here, kitty. Purr for me.
No. How about we go to some cringe?
All right.
Or, do you want to do the commercial break now, since it's been almost an hour? And then we can just continue on.
Up to you.
Let's go ahead and do the commercial. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ishtar, you volunteered, so you get to go first.
Yay! Hi, I'm Ishtar. I have my own Twitch channel where I stream Monday and Friday and play various games. Twitch.tv/IshtarJMO. And every now and again, I take pity on my darling Matt and help him out with voices on his channel, which is actually a lot of fun. So he's over on Cyber Demon Gaming. Tag! Someone's it.
All right. I'm Wren. I working on streaming on my own channel, but otherwise you can catch me weekly here and posting random stuff on Twitters when I feel like it. So my links are all below too.
And of course, my name is Antoine the Great. I'm the host of Help for the Guiltless. If you like what we do here, talking about funny news, you may want to check out The Last Vox on Sundays, which shows at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Matt hosts that show where he does plan to have guests come on. He also talks about articles and will do breakdowns of videos eventually.
Eventually.
If you like what we do here and you'd like to support the channel and all of us here at Help for the Guiltless and MSNBC, really hope you do. There is a little button down below called Join. If you join, you help support the channel monthly, and when everything for the Patreon gets back to normal, we will be doing monthly hangouts with our supporters. So there is a Patreon link down below if you want to support that way, as well as a wonderful merchandise store, which you've seen the ad for at the beginning of the video, that has a ton of great designs. And if you just want to do a super chat, you can, or you can do a Streamlabs. Or if you don't want to do any of that and you want to do the bare minimum, which we still appreciate, just hit like, share the video around. And if you like gaming and you want snark and comedy and role-playing games and things like that, check out Cyber Demon Gaming. Matt's been doing a lot of things on there. He's got a few games that are going on at the same time.
Isn't
Might
he
want to check it
making you
out.
play a game?
Shush.
I seem to remember he's making you play a video game too.
He's playing Five Nights at Freddy's. And he has been shirking on getting back to playing it.
You know what? Sarah has been back in Dimension. I've been spending time with my girlfriend. You two can bugger off.
Is that game scaring you? Because my kids play that game and they aren't scared. You're a cyber demon. You should be able to handle it.
Look, that bunny has it out for me. I don't know why. I don't understand. I've turned that bunny down more often than I care to admit. It still wants to come.
Are you talking
Does
about?
Sarah know that you're more afraid of that bunny than you are of her?
I'm not afraid of it. It just makes me uncomfortable. It stares at you through a window.
Are we talking about the same bunny that my 4-year-old just asked for a plushie of because he said it'd make him feel safe?
I have plushies of all the Five Nights originals. They're cute.
My child wants the nightmare version of Bonnie as a way of making him feel safe to go to bed.
Yes, but you had you had little munchkins with your minion, which is why they're little gremlins.
He's got a point.
He does. It might explain why the 4-year-old would feel safe with something described as nightmare version of. And it's going, oh, it's cuddly.
So, links for both of my co-hosts are down below, as well as links for everything else. All you have to do is click them.
Antoine, Damalia brings up a point that Mitzi also stares at you through the windows.
Yeah.
Yes, but she's 5 inches tall and weighs like 9 pounds.
9 ounces.
Whatever.
Ounces.
She's tiny.
So, alright. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program with some cringe.
All right. We have 23 weird Valentine's Day gifts.
That's right. This Friday is Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is.
Have you got everything in line for Sarah, Antoine?
I do.
What about you, Wren? Have you planned the Minions surprise?
We're doing belated Valentine's Day because I work that night.
That's
What she means by belated is she's kicking the kids out with some candy and hoping that they get lost for a few hours, and the minion is going to see something very scantily clad on her.
Oh, please, I don't have to give them candy. I'm getting them a new tablet where they can play all the FNAF games on it. They will leave me alone for weeks.
Yeah, but you don't want them in the house when you tie up your minion and start whipping him.
He
Who
has
says-
a point.
Who says that he's the one who gets whipped?
She has a point. Do you have a counterpoint?
It's a mutual whipping.
Oh no, see, I don't like whipping the minion. I just like being the one who gets whipped.
See, this is why I have 2 female co-hosts.
I do have this awful tendency. Yeah, I do have this awful tendency of being naughty.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know what? It's Valentine's Day, Wren. You should put on something scantily clad and wear yourself a tail.
Mm. I'll keep that in mind. But let's get to this article. Love is not love. It's not always shiny and new, and isn't always soft like an easy chair, is it? Love is strange, and so are a lot of lovers. So if it's really the thought that counts, why not give your love something weird for Valentine's Day?
Because it's weird.
Huffington Post Weird News has scrounged the world looking for truly bizarre gifts that are sure to take any relationship to the next level. However, we are not specifying if the next level will be higher or lower than your current level. That's up to you. So we're going to start off with a candle that's just hands.
Hold on, it's just, trust us, nothing says Valentine's Day romance like getting a remote-controlled bidet or a life-size silicone replica of porn star Karina Kova.
We'll get to that. We're going to start with a nice one. A U-Rock candle. Okay,
It's red, and if you look at the fingers correctly, it's actually a heart.
yes.
That's
No.
kind of cute.
Now, Steve says fuck Valentine's. Why? Why are you saying fuck Valentine's?
Because he's probably single.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm just
Steve,
guessing, Steve, because my other guess is that, you're one of those people who believes Valentine's is purely a commercial thing.
Yeah.
Steve also said that he wants more content. Steve, there is a video in the works. I'm not saying when it's getting released, but you can blame Wren for it.
Number 2 is a selfie toaster.
A what?
A selfie toaster.
It takes pictures of you while you're making toast?
No,
No.
there's an imprint, a metal imprint. A metal thing that has your face that turns it into...
And burns it into the
and
toast.
burns it into the toast.
So you could have a selfie on toast.
Why?
Millennial. Let's keep moving on. There is the eggplant vibrator. I'm not going to lie. This one made me kind of giggle.
Well, they did take away the emoji.
Yeah, it's the emoji is used for some naughtier conversations. So if you have a joking relationship, yeah, I could see that being actually kind of funny. I mean, it's cute, kinda.
It does not look at all pleasurable. It looks like one of those fake food things that you get in kids' kitchens.
It does kinda, but like I said, at least it's kinda cute. Like the idea is kind of okay. Kinda there. Next is the Karina Kova love doll.
Ray says not only can you get her boyfriend a nifty gift, but Esmeralda can say, "You can see Jesus in my toast," and her boyfriend Jesus is embarrassed.
Jesus. And yes, it's $3,500 for the life-size replica of the porn star.
If they get that for you, they're trying to break up with you.
Or there's a hint, or they're pawning off things they don't want to do. Next is the Bloodshot Eyeball Backpack.
How is that a Valentine's Day gift?
It's red.
It's horrifying.
Well, to be fair, not everyone shares the same taste, maybe to someone that is a lovely gift.
No, I'm not talking about the backpack. I'm talking about the thing that's wearing it.
Be
Oh.
nice. Be nice. That is a perfectly fine-looking person. I can't tell if it's male or female, but there's nothing wrong with them.
Okay. The next one I approve of. A sleep shirt that says wine is my Valentine.
Well, it would be perfect for Ishtar, but she's not a wine drinker.
Nope.
It would have to say tequila is the reason I'm pregnant.
Don't start. Matt keeps threatening to take my birth control patch off.
All right. If you want...
Just threatening. He wouldn't actually do it, people in the chat, unless I was okay with it.
Oh, speaking of weirder ones, a thong with your face printed on it.
No, not okay with this one at all. No, look.
I want some with Antoine's face on it.
I was going to say it's bad enough that Mitzi likes staring into my windows. I don't need her longing to sit on my face.
Now we're going to run into a few themes. We have cannabis wine. If you want to get out of your mind in more than one way.
It says, which actually tastes more like pink lemonade than vino. It won't hit as immediately as a glass of, say, chalabis. I don't know what that is, but give it 30 minutes and you should definitely be feeling the pink.
Chablis.
Whatever.
Chablis.
I don't care.
Next is a set of flamingos.
Meditating pink flamingos.
Meditating pink flamingos. How do... Never mind. I just saw the picture. That question got answered. They're yoga flamingos.
They're yoga flamingos. You know, some people have weird collections.
Yeah.
A remote control bidet.
No. There's too much of a draw for this to be used for malicious purposes. Although I will admit it's probably a good way to get Ishtar up and going in the morning.
No. Now this next one I actually think would be a cute idea if you have a wine lover in your that you're with. A giant cork table. That's kind of cute, and if you have someone who's into wine, that could be an actual here's something for the house. It's quirky.
And if you have children, they can stick things onto it.
Yeah.
It's definitely for wine people. Why does everyone assume that there are a bunch of wine people?
That's because wine is the thing that mothers like to drink.
Wine is technically demographically probably more popular amongst women, even though I'm more of a whiskey person or rum, but wine is the more popular. There is the after sex towel.
Ew.
Can I read the caption for this?
Go for it.
When you love someone, you want to make their life easier. In that spirit, what fits the bill more than a towel designed to be used after sex? Need a towel, honey? Yes, make sure it's the one that specifically says after sex towel. There's a difference? Yes, other towels don't specifically say after sex towel. It's logic. Thank you for the clarity. After sex towel. It's a picture of a towel that says after sex towel. In Comic Sans, mind you. And there are 3 sperm on it.
What if she doesn't want crusty towels? That's her way of preventing it.
Or you just wash the bloody fucking towel! What do? Leave it in the bedroom and let it walk on its own?
I don't know. But there is THC-infused sriracha.
You know, I could actually see people enjoying that one.
A rainbow catacorn statue.
Yeah, Ishtar wants it.
No, I really don't.
Just wait for her to see the picture.
Yeah, I really do.
Told you.
It's so cute.
Tell Matt.
It's got Matt. Matt,
just
pass this.
Pass it along to Matt, and he knows what to get her now.
I have it on good confirmation that Ishtar has been wearing her Valentine's Day present for a while now,
I think she
Yes,
might want
that's
that
true.
too.
And she'll also have it on good authority that she's getting something on Friday being delivered to where she works.
He sent me something at work.
Yes.
All
Oh.
right. We have
I didn't
Operation.
say it had to be for Valentine's Day. I just said I wanted it. That's
Okay.
all.
Tell him to save that for like a birthday or something.
My birthday is in
Next month.
yeah, it's a little under a month.
See?
Ray says the gayest pussy I've seen since Ellen.
See, yeah. See. Now we've just helped Matt with with Ishi's birthday. He can just get her that little figurine.
I already know what he's getting her for her birthday.
We have Operation themed boxer briefs, as in the board game.
Why?
'Cause
Like the opening isn't even in a clever spot on the body.
No,
don't know.
but you could have fun trying to get the bone out.
Touche.
A pink portable bong
No.
because
Just
Why?
no.
yeah, it's
No.
sexy fanny pack.
There is nothing sexy about a fanny pack.
Wait till you see the picture.
Oh my god. Okay. To be fair, still not sexy.
No.
But it is pretty funny.
That is a good gag gift, though.
Yes.
A cordless vacuum.
It says love sucks.
To be fair, a cordless vacuum is what you buy your woman if you want to get killed with the said cordless vacuum.
Well, it depends on how adult you are. Because Ishtar can agree with this. Her and Matt got very, very excited about buying a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, pretty much.
But not for Valentine's Day.
No, and honestly, if Matt ever got me an appliance for Valentine's Day without having discussed it thoroughly with me prior...
So, like a kitchen appliance you'd be upset about?
There's a difference. If it was like a vacuum or a washer or an oven, unless it was something that we had already discussed as an...
If
I'm
he
okay with
bought
this
you
being
a
a
brand
Valentine's
new... You would be upset if he bought you a brand new oven.
For Valentine's Day, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You love baking.
I do.
What if it's one of the double ovens that you want?
That would make one hell of a birthday present.
Just not Valentine's Day. It's not romantic.
Birthday, Christmas, I'm down with it. But Valentine's Day? Nah. Also, it's too expensive for Valentine's Day present.
Yeah, that too.
And it's not sparkly. If you're going to buy something expensive on a Valentine's
I'm sorry,
Day...
stainless
buy
steel is very
sparkly.
sparkly. Stainless steel is
not
very sparkly.
Not sparkly enough.
Stainless steel doesn't sparkle. It gleams. There's a difference.
Gleaming is different than sparkling.
All right, Ray says, what if the new oven came with a heart-shaped cookie in it?
No.
I mean, that depends on how much I'm craving sugar at that point. But even then, I would probably still be sulky.
Yeah.
But, oddly, I'm okay with like a new double oven with, it's got the nice convection oven and then you've got the regular oven. That's fine for Christmas.
See, I'm just hearing ungratefulness. That's all I'm hearing.
Uh,
We all know that your purpose is in the kitchen. I mean, there's even jokes about it. Why did God make women's feet small?
Why?
So they could get closer to the sink.
Well, I've already said that if he made enough money to support us both in comfort, I would be happy being a stay-at-home whatever.
Next up is a cracker.
No comment on that one.
No comment on that one. Next up is a cracker pillow. It is literally a pillow just shaped like a cracker.
It's not even a Ritz cracker. It's just a saltine.
It's a saltine pillow, but hey, it could be cute if that's your thing. Pink Lips Bank. Fill in the dirty thoughts you guys have on your own?
Well, you put a hole in that, it's definitely something more than a bank.
Yes. Chocolate wine. No.
Chocolate wine is actually very yummy.
And
Really?
it is a bit, and as it says, it's a big seller on Valentine's Day.
It tastes like drinking an alcoholic chocolate shake, just a little thinner.
I'll have to try that because
Yeah, it's actually quite tasty.
I've had some misgivings with some things in chocolate being mixed where it just didn't work.
I like it.
Oh.
I don't drink it very often, but I do like it.
Next, we have cannabis chocolate. There's a small trend here.
Yes.
Hold on, before we go to the next one, I have to see if this image is allowable.
You can go ahead and look. It's the final one. I think we would.
You know,
I don't think it is because
it's mesh, but you can't really make the detail out.
It's up to you if you want to show it.
I'll show it.
This is the very last thing, and I'm just going to let it speak for itself.
That man is gay. Just saying.
I do not know if that counts as a present. Because I know I would be in giggle fits if the minion was wearing that. It wouldn't be.
It is a kiss me mesh thong. That man is very, very gay.
He is incredibly gay.
Do you see why I was questioning whether I should show this or not?
Yes, you are. Now, Ishii, what would you think if Matt wore that?
I would just sit there and laugh. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. My honey is a good-looking man.
But you'd be like me and giggling, going...
Oh no, I would have skipped right past giggling to sitting on the floor clutching my sides.
Sarah is not making me wear that. I don't care.
Sarah should totally make Antoine wear that.
No,
Sarah
it's not
should
happening.
Totally make Antoine wear that.
No. Nope. Not happening.
Hey. Isn't our meme person in the chat?
Shush!
Our meme person could make that happen.
Look, I agree with Ray. Ishtar, Matt couldn't pull it off, but you could.
No, I couldn't.
Sure you can. It's a thong.
Nope. It's a thong with a pocket for a bulge.
Doesn't mean you can't wear it.
Nope.
This is the last one?
That's the last gift.
Oh, thank God. Some of those are just fucking weird.
I didn't say it was a normal Valentine's Day list.
Ah, okay. So, to explain the joke, you're pulling it off of Matt. Not pulling it off as good, but you are pulling it off.
Oh.
Get it?
No.
Yeah. I'm sure it's got straps or something. I don't fucking know. What was my Florida Man article?
I don't know.
Was it that one? Hold on just a second. Ah, yes, it is that one. All right. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the Florida man that killed his friend by stabbing him with a trowel over something to do with Trump.
Yes.
There apparently is a Florida man trend. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this. There was a Florida man, there was an Antifa member who drove his van into a tent of Trump supporters because they were registering people to vote.
Yes.
Okay.
Did we have a truck of peace moment?
He tried to have a truck of peace. Apparently, not only did he drive into the tent and narrowly miss killing someone, I think by like 6 inches, but he stopped, yelled at them, took a picture of what he did, and then drove off, flipping them off.
At least he was proud of his work, but he should honestly just be slapped.
He was also arrested.
And the judge should slap the shit out of him.
Well, apparently, he was a Florida man.
Surprise!
Florida man. Wait, so Florida man failed to kill someone?
Yes. Florida man who drove van into GOP voter tent said it was because he does not like Trump, which honestly means that Trump derangement syndrome is real. Not only did he want to, not only did he try to kill people, but he tried to kill innocent volunteers who were just registering people to vote because he didn't like how they thought.
The Orwellian state begins.
Thought crimes are a thing.
Thought crimes are a thing. The Florida man who was arrested last weekend after allegedly ramming his van through a Republican voter registration tent told police that he was motivated by an opposition to President Trump. Opposition is a weak word in what he actually had. I would call that a flat-out hatred. Opposition is what, you and Sarah have, Wren, when you want me to come take a bath with you again. That's opposition. Wanting to kill people with a van because you think differently is not opposition.
Yeah, that's a little excessive, and he really should be in therapy for a very long time.
In a new redacted arrest report, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office said that Gregory Tim advised that he does not like President Trump after officers interviewed him at his residence the day of the alleged attack. The report added that another reason he drove his van through the tent was because it's like someone shitting on your grave. A third motivating factor was redacted.
Shitting on your grave.
I didn't know he was dead, but Tim, 27, was arrested on Saturday.
Well,
what?
He could have already bought his gravesite.
In a parking lot?
His gravesite. So maybe he has experience with people coming along and shitting on his former gravesite. Or his future gravesite. Maybe it's behind a tree or a bush or something.
Well, don't worry, he's not going to be getting any bush in prison. Tim was
will be the bush.
Tim, 27, was arrested on Saturday and charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of criminal mischief, and driving with a suspended license.
Naughty boy.
Police announced the day of his detainment that they were launching an investigation into whether the incident was politically motivated.
You think?
Was it? I don't know. What was it? Politically motivated?
I
for
think
his
so.
That
Maybe.
He does not like President Trump. I mean, he kind of
Possibly.
It's possible.
Possibly.
There were no reported injuries stemming from the incident, which is why it is just as light of a count as it is of just aggravated assault. If someone was injured, it'd be aggravated assault and battery and attempted murder, which they could get him with, but they're not charging him with it. I don't know why.
Probably because of his spectacular failure.
I mean, there's possibly that. The new police report noted that multiple victims were forced to scramble away from the tent to avoid being struck as Tim's vehicle rammed through the registration tent. Police said that the car knocked over the tent and several tables and chairs. Tim then got out of his...
Not the tables and chairs.
I know, not the tables and chairs. They took forever to set those up.
Not the gumdrop buttons.
Tim then got out of his car, took out his phone, and flipped the victims off, according to the report. See, I wasn't making that part up. Tim then returned to his car and drove off. Police made contact with Tim at his residence, and they noted that he agreed to come out of his house and talk about the incident. Tim stated that he first saw the voter registration tent after visiting Walmart earlier that day. He also showed police videos he shot on his cell phone of him driving towards the tent.
At least he's honest about it.
That's because he believes that everyone hates President Donald Trump, and he's going to be exonerated for this because no one likes Orange Man, because Orange Man is bad!
Orange Man, always bad.
The suspect was upset that the video ended before the good part, quote-unquote. Many local and national Republican figures, including Trump and Florida's 2 GOP senators, have condemned Saturday's incident as a politically motivated attack designed to intimidate Republicans. In other words, they are nicely putting that this young 27-year-old TDS sufferer is a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
Can anyone disagree with that?
No?
The Duval County GOP said in a series of tweets, because of course they went to Twitter, over the weekend that 6 Trump campaign volunteers were targeted in the incident, labeling it as senseless act of violence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest well fucking duh I've ever heard.
I've heard bigger, but not many.
Yeah.
Duval County Republican Party Chairman Dean Black said in a statement on Tuesday that it is high time that the national media began to act responsibly in this case and called this deranged criminal's attack what has been clear, an obvious assault motivated by blind rage toward President Trump. Where's the lie?
You think?
With the release of the revised police report, the national media now has no place to hide. They must now cover this story honestly or abandon all pretenses of integrity.
Oh, no, they're not going to cover it honestly. What they're going to do is pretend it doesn't exist.
Yes. No, Ray, I didn't say the leader is black. I said his name is Black. Dean Black. The county GOP has vowed to redouble its efforts to register people to vote in Florida, a decisive swing state that could be hugely beneficial to Trump or the Democratic nominee in the 2020 election. The Duval County Democratic Party also denounced the incident over the weekend, calling it a cowardly act of violence.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So this fucking moron not only thought it was a good idea to drive his van directly into a tent of volunteers,
people who are just being helpful,
but he decided to record it as well, thinking that he was going to put it up on Twitter and be praised. Now, what this story doesn't tell you is that he was part of Antifa.
Was he really?
Yes.
Yeah, that was your first clue.
Do you want to see a picture of him?
To be fair, most members of Antifa, and this is to an extent, some millennials have not realized that if you're going to commit a crime, one, don't, but if you are, please don't record it yourself. You're just recording evidence.
All right, here we go.
The police do appreciate your help, though.
They do.
Yes, the police do appreciate your help in you recording your own crime. But, yeah.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. There's a reason.
Stupider, I should say.
Or stupider. There's a reason George Carlin used to joke, cop didn't see it, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks like a neo-Nazi, but he is a Antifa activist. He has crazy eyes.
He really does.
But this fucking punk, and since I'm going to put this up on my Anchor channel. So for those of you who are just listening to it, he's got blonde hair, blue eyes, part of his head is shaved, and he looks like he's ready to fuck a porcupine.
The half-shaved look is a thing now.
According to Ray,
I hate that look, to be perfectly honest.
I used to think it was cute, but that was back when, much like weird, strange colored hair, that was back when it was just a punk and goth thing. When we had it, and it was ours, there were some really cute looks with it.
Ray says he looks like a less masculine Tilda Swinton. Not wrong.
Now that is an insult to a very good actress.
Yeah, that is an insult to a good actress.
So yeah, I have an issue with these fucking idiots. Thank you for recording it. It makes it an open and shut case.
Yes, it does.
There is
But
no way. They're gonna have to get him on some sort of mental health disability or something.
They probably are looking into, are you mentally challenged?
well,
That-
why?
that's-
I have a question for you. Have you heard about this from any other major news outlet? That
No.
was from The Hill.
No.
That does not shock me.
So what you two alleged is right. This happened over the weekend. This happened on Sunday. 2 days ago.
Yes.
This is more than enough time for, I don't know, news to actually cover it.
Except they won't.
No, they're just going to ignore it. No, it's never the Democrats or any of the people who hate Trump that are causing any of the violence. It's only Trump supporters. They are the alt-right. They hate everything. They're racist. They're sexist. They're homophobic. This is bullshit. Cover the fucking news. This is why no one trusts the mainstream media. You come here to MSNBC to laugh, to look at cringe, learn about spooky shit, and see the real news. Do you want to know why? Because we're not biased. We're objective. We talk about the funny things, whether they're Trump supporters, support Elizabeth Warren, or, like to fuck animals on the weekend. We just make fun of the news.
Excuse me. I would like to point out that you are not telling the truth. We are very biased. We are biased against stupidity.
That's a good bias to have, though. Because here's the thing. If you guys really want to make it through life, don't be stupid.
Steve brings up another good point. The Virginia gun rally happened last month, right? Millions of guns! Not a single person died.
Oh dear.
Shocking.
Yeah, it's being touted by people like AOC that was a bad thing. That police didn't have to be called when hundreds of thousands of people who had guns didn't start openly shooting each other.
The first problem with your sentence, which led to the stupidity, was AOC said.
I agree with you. Trust me. I've said it before, she's about as sharp as a marble and less effective.
It doesn't matter what side you're on. There are certain people that if they talk, you're like, okay.
You just automatically ignore it.
That's sweet, dear. I love how you think that the world is so simple that we could just do this one thing and it'll magically make things better. That's cute that you think the world is simple. Reality is, it's complicated. Everything is.
To be honest, I am more interested in my Monopoly game from the supermarket than I am in anything AOC has to say.
That's a good
That's
point.
A fair point.
Damn Alien
Because
says...
the game is far more intelligent than she is.
Damn Alien says, come on, no one supports Warren. Not wrong. Apparently in the latest primary, Amy Klobuchar won. Who the fuck is going to vote for Amy Klobuchar? Do you guys know who Amy Klobuchar is?
Who?
No.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's calm things down with some science, shall we?
Okay. We're going to calm ourselves all the way down to... let's see. Which one do I want?
If you're doing the one that's in the headline...
Man whose headaches made him vomit had tapeworm in brain for 10 years.
And that person grew up to be Bernie Sanders.
Be nice.
That was...
Doctors think that the tapeworm had been growing slowly ever since the man contracted it from eating undercooked pork in Mexico.
Yeah, that was his
You
first...
can't eat the pork. You can't drink the water. What the fuck?
Just don't go to Mexico.
Tequila. Your answer when you're in Mexico is tequila.
Okay.
No, that was drinking the worm, not the water.
A man whose headaches were so painful they made him vomit has finally found the source of his health problem. A tapeworm had been lodged in his brain for 10 years. Doctors in Texas think that the tapeworm had been growing ever since the man, named only as Gerardo, contracted it from eating undercooked pork in Mexico more than a day ago.
You're saying it wrong. You have to put some bass in your voice. You have to say,
Gerardo.
Gerardo! Yeah.
I lack the necessary parts to put bass in my voice.
So roll your R's. Gerardo!
Gerardo
Yep.
said he had been having headaches and feeling off for months before he had an MRI scan after fainting while playing football last year.
You just roll the first R, not the second R. It's Gerardo, not whatever the fuck you just said.
Yeah, but I made you laugh. Describing the pain of his headaches, he told NBC affiliate KXAN TV, "It's very intense, very strong because it made me sweat too. Sweat from the pain in the head, and then I would vomit from the pain." Dr. Jordan Armadio, a neurosurgeon at Ascension Seton in Austin, said the case was rare and truly extraordinary. In certain regions of the country, like Texas and California, this can be more common, he was reported as saying. So there's definitely something I think for every medical professional to be aware of.
Yes, it could happen. It could happen in California because they have the Black Plague and the fact that San Francisco is covered in shit.
It is not commonly seen and can actually masquerade as different things. Several kinds of tapeworms cause the parasitic infection Taniasis, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Eating raw or undercooked beef or pork is the primary risk factor for becoming infected. Most people with tapeworm infections have no symptoms or only mild symptoms. After a complex surgery to remove the tapeworm, Gerardo said he was back to his normal self and had returned to work. A tapeworm had also been found in his sister's brain years earlier.
Probably from the same reason. See, now, okay, I remember you saying you went to California Adventure a couple of weeks ago, yes?
Yes.
And they still have that soaring over, is it soaring over California?
It's soaring over the world now.
They changed it.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad they changed it because I know it used to spray things like orange and pine scent and things like that going over certain areas. Once they passed over San Francisco, I'm sure people didn't like being sprayed in the face with garbage and feces.
You're probably right.
All right. So that's back to cringe.
A tapeworm in his brain.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Ishii, I'm going to give you the choice.
Uh-huh.
We have free drink hack that would only really work as long as no one knows what you're doing, or something that involves bats.
Bats.
She likes bats.
Bats are cute.
Bats are not cute. What the hell is wrong with you?
They are sky puppies. You shut your mouth.
Sky puppies?
They are adorable.
Biblical plague of bats forces town into lockdown, leaving locals afraid to leave homes.
Yeah, bats are cute. Sure.
Thousands of bats have taken over a town, with residents afraid to leave home or take their children to school. The bat tornado was so intense.
This is the new sci-fi thing. You have to call it a bat-nado.
Bat-nado.
There you go.
Was so intense that the local hospital's air ambulance was grounded as they made it impossible to fly. The flying animals have taken over the town in Ingham and North Queensland, but they are a protected species, so very little can be done. The mayor of Hitchinbrook, Councilman Raymond J.O., told a news magazine show A Current Affair, "It just seems to me that every bat in Australia is now an Ingham. There's 4 different species, and because they all have young at different times, there's hardly a window of opportunity when we can interact with these bats to try to move them on."
Good God, look at that picture. Real quick, Steve says, coronavirus in a town. And Damn Alien says, just make soup out of them. What could go wrong? Ask the Chinese.
These people should be grateful because clearly they have a bug problem and the bats are taking care of it.
Or they're Australia and the bats have nowhere else to go because the entire continent is on fire still.
They
Maybe.
should still be grateful.
You're not going to like what this politician said, is she? But outspoken local politician Bob Cratter told the program if it was up to him, he'd be down there with a shotgun.
There you go.
He said, there comes a point where I think not breaking the law really becomes dogging it, as we say in North Queensland.
I don't even know what that means.
It's Australian. I don't speak Australian. And
You're not drunk enough to speak Australian.
That point has probably been reached. The president of Ingham's Chamber of Commerce, Rachel Coco, added, if it was happening at the Parliament House, someone would have come up with a solution by now. So this he added that the tourism in the area has taken a drastic hit since the bats arrived. Trees around one primary school are full with the upside down fruit bats, with many parents refusing to send their children to school until they are gone.
It's just fruit bats. I understand they're giant fruit bats, but they're just fruit bats. They're not going to eat anyone.
They're not vampire bats.
It's Australia, though, so they might be afraid because Australia has that one giant bat that eats small creatures. That's the size of a small child.
Well, that's the giant... yeah, but it's not giant bats. It's just fruit bats.
We don't know what different kinds of bats are there. So I can understand their fear of... how many bats are there?
All right.
That or rabies, because bats can carry rabies, and kids are likely to poke bats and maybe get bit. Maybe that's the worry.
Well, they are Australian, and if it gets down to that point, then they don't need to be around anymore. The kids, not the bats. All right, I have 3 choices for you, ladies.
Choice me.
All right.
They all involve Florida men, of course.
Of course.
We have Florida man impersonator, Florida man calling the police, and Florida man arrested.
Arrested.
Arrested. Well, get back to our favorite things that happen in Florida at a McDonald's.
Ooh.
Do you want to guess what happened at this McDonald's?
Florida man got arrested for meth.
Ishtar, you have a choice. You have an option.
He got arrested for smuggling bats in his underwear.
He got arrested for smuggling bats in his underwear.
Yes.
What? What?
That's creative. That would be creative for Florida man.
Mm-hmm.
Florida man arrested for machete attack inside McDonald's.
Okay.
And it's a short one, so we can do another. I'll give you a choice between the other 2 Florida stories after this. A Florida man was attacked by a suspect with a machete at McDonald's on Sunday. Devin Quarterman, 28, allegedly assaulted the victim, who he knew, during a fight at one of the fast food joints in Pinellas Park around 11 p.m. Pinellas Park comes up a lot. Have you noticed that? Pinellas Park, Pinellas County. Yeah, I would just stay out of Pinellas.
Yes.
It's unclear what the men were fighting over. Probably a cheeseburger. Quarterman fled the restaurant after the attack, but was arrested Monday and charged with attempted murder, the report said. The unidentified victim is listed in critical condition at an area hospital.
Okay.
Maybe he stole his last French fry.
Never steal fries. Never steal fries. All right. So it's down to Florida man calls police or Florida man impersonated.
Impersonated.
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. You're going to enjoy this headline.
Okay.
Florida man Christian Moscow impersonated a prosecutor, tried to drop charges against himself, and gets 10 years.
Points on creativity for trying to get charges against him dropped, but clearly he failed in execution.
Ishtar?
But he tried. He tried.
I think Ishtar is dumbfounded into silence.
Pretty much. I'm just like, the hell?
Did he at least look like the prosecutor?
Let's find out. A Florida man who impersonated a prosecutor in order to attempt to drop the charges against himself has been sentenced to 10 years in prison.
I mean, I do have to give him props for originality.
That is definitely original.
Christian Eugene Moscow's latest crime spree reportedly began in May 2019. Moscow allegedly came across a list of customers' records from a Daytona Beach Chevrolet dealership and purportedly attempt to extort the business by claiming that he would go to the media with the records, opening up the potential for a class action lawsuit that would put the dealership out of business. That's actually really creative.
Again,
Extortion is not the greatest thing, but yeah, that was pretty good. Most people just use that to try and steal someone's identity.
Most.
Most.
But not him. He's slightly more honest than most.
Now he wasn't asking for much for this extortion. All Christian really wanted in exchange for not releasing the records, according to the report at the time from Orlando's WESH-TV, was a meager amount of $50,000 cash and a 2019 Chevy Malibu.
That's not much.
A 2019 Chevy Malibu. That's what he wanted. A Chevy goddamn Malibu. If you're going to get a car as extortion, fucking blow it out the water.
He could have asked for a 2019 Chevy Camaro, but no, he wanted a Malibu because he wanted style and substance.
To be fair,
hello?
He lowballed it.
He did.
Give me this little bit and this car, and I don't release this.
And let's be fair, Malibus are more gas efficient than some of the more raucous cars with the bigger engines that vibrate the seats that you ladies like so much.
Exactly. He was clearly thinking practical.
The dealer set up a sting operation where Moscow was to turn over the records in exchange for the money and the keys. However, Moscow was met by police officers, taken to jail, and charged with extortion. Imagine that.
Shocking.
Now, facing jail time, Moscow then came up with Plan B. According to a companion news journal report from January 2020, the previous September, Moscow somehow again got his hands on something that wasn't his and tried to use it to his benefit. This time, it was the identification information of 2 Florida prosecutors, and Moscow reportedly used it to access a computer and try to drop the charges against himself.
Of course.
Again, props for originality. C- for execution.
But wait, there's more. Unfortunately...
He decides that he wants to have a smart car this time?
Well, I mean, it is better gas mileage. Unfortunately for Moscow, 2 things did him in. First, he supposedly filed the wrong form. Specifically, he allegedly got a copy of a no information document from someone else's case and fraudulently altered it, then supposedly filed it using the Florida court's e-filing portal under a fraudulent user account he allegedly made with the personal information stolen from a real attorney. He put some actual thought into this.
He really did.
If only he looked up the proper paperwork.
However...
That will do you in, yeah.
the no information document wouldn't have dropped the charges against him. To do that, he'd have to file a novel prosequi, meaning that the prosecution had dropped the charges.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, see, that was the first mistake. Here's the second. An actual employee of the Valencia County Clerk of the Circuit Court, Laura Panzarino, noticed the suspicious filing and alerted her supervisors. See,
Smart girl.
if you treat people right in the court system, they help you out.
Mm-hmm.
When the dust settled, charges of falsely impersonating a prosecutor, practicing law without authority, fraudulent use of identification, fraudulently acting as a state attorney, and uttering a forgery in the form of a fake no information were all added to his existing criminal case. He was suddenly facing decades behind bars.
Dun, dun, dun!
To be fair, extortion, I think, depending on what it is, and this was a small amount of extortion, not like death or murder or anything like that. I think he would have gotten at most 5. Off at 2 with good behaviour. 7.
Again,
Go ahead.
but then again, this is Florida, man.
True. However, that's another use of however in this article. Moscow took a plea agreement with the real prosecutor that had him plead guilty to 2 counts of falsely impersonating an officer, practicing law without authority, 2 counts of fraudulent use of personal identification, and criminal process under colour of law and uttering a forgery.
Mm-hmm.
This week, he was sentenced to 10 years. 7th Circuit State Attorney R.J. Lariza said in a statement that had Moscow put his criminal efforts into legal activities, he might have made something of himself. Had he used his talents for positive and law-abiding activities, he would not be on his way to the state prison system.
That, to be fair, this is one Florida man. I could see that.
Yeah, if he just got on the straight and narrow and used his creativity for something,
Let's face it, guys. Most lawyers are half a step away from being criminals anyway.
This is a good point.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
Not wrong at all.
I said most, not all. If we have lawyers in here, y'all are cool.
There are some good lawyers out there, and then there's big corporate evil lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
There are corporate evil lawyers where it's like, is that really legal?
So I do have a question for you two ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how you can tell if a lawyer is lying to you?
How?
His mouth is moving?
His lips are moving. Ba-dum-bum!
Science.
Science, yes.
1,200-year-old gumdrop might have belonged to an elite gamer at a UK monastery.
Hold on. Asfera is here. How's it going, Asfera? Viva Fry. Good lawyer. Yes. Ishtar introduced me to Viva Fry. I enjoy him very much. He's very level-headed. He speaks really fucking fast, though. And
he actually explains shit in terms you can follow.
Yes.
Mm.
So I'm a fan of Viva Fry.
Yeah.
Okay, so gumdrop. Now are we talking like actual candy?
Nope.
Oh.
This ornate gumdrop-shaped glass piece was part of a board game with Roman roots.
So 2 articles from you are about board games?
Yes.
Are you trying to tell me something?
Maybe.
You want me to buy you a 12,000-year-old board game?
I do enjoy Senate. What looks like a tasty blue gumdrop decorated with white frosting is actually a 1,200-year-old glass king piece that may have belonged to an elite gamer, according to Durham University, England, and Dig Ventures, a crowdsourced archaeological outfit. Also in the UK. The royal blue game piece was found in September 2019 during a community-based dig at a cemetery in Lindisfarne, also called Holy Island, a tiny island off the northeast coast of England. Lindisfarne was once home to monks who ran a medieval monastery that was infamously invaded by the Vikings in AD 793.
So Steve says that you might be saying that you want more role-playing. You might want to talk to Matt about that.
Yeah, not a problem. This is a truly wonderful discovery, which gives us a very special insight into life in the monastery at the time. David Petts, a senior lecturer in the archaeology of northern Britain at Durham University, who co directed the excavation with Dig Ventures, said in a statement released Thursday, February 6th. It's similar to a number of other examples found at settlements and trading sites around the edge of the North Sea, and shows us not only that there were people on Lindisfarne who had leisure time, but that they were well connected. Stop playing that. 5 white baubles decorate the newfound artifact and indicate it was a king piece, said Maya Pignadesier, the head of community at Dig Ventures. It's about 0.7 inches across, or about the size of a chocolate sweet or a Ferrero Rocher, said Pignadesier in an email to Live Science. Bungled that one up.
You did. That was a simple sentence, and you decided to just muck it up. Put your tongue back in your mouth and learn to speak.
It's Steve's fault. He started asking me about role playing, and I'm a bit of a gamer girl, so Anyway,
I don't think that's the type of role playing he was talking about.
There are all kinds of games, honey baby.
Yes, they are.
The king piece would have been a high-status object that likely belonged to a royal who was living at or visiting the Lindisfarne monastery before the Vikings invaded, she added. Other gaming pieces are usually made of wood or bone. We're hoping to get further analysis done to tell us more about how it was made and maybe even where the materials came from. The board game itself was a strategy-laden lark with Roman roots called Ludus Latrunculorum.
You want to try that again?
Latrunculorum.
There you go.
As the Romans invaded new lands, the game spread and evolved differently in each location, but became known by the umbrella term Tafel. Tafel games were played in Britain, Ireland, Iceland, Denmark, and Sweden before chess arrived in the 11th and 12th centuries, said Pignadesier. Although each region had their own version of the rules, the basic principles were the same. Defend a central king against attackers, she explained. There was usually only one decorated piece, the king. The rest would be more like counters. This is the second Tafel game piece discovered in the British Isles. The other one was found at a Pictish hill fort in Dundurn, Scotland. Dig Ventures plans to return to Lindisfarne in September 2020 to continue the dig.
I don't believe that the name of the game is Tafel. I think they're just making this shit up.
I'm guessing that it was a pain in the butt to keep saying... Hold on, I gotta find it again. Ludus Latrunculorum every time you wanted to play a game.
So it got shortened, or was it
Tafel.
Tafel.
Tafl.
You know what? I would be one of those people that'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about this game? And then I would say the full name.
Yes, you would be that asshole.
Yes, you would be. Now,
aren't you glad we're so confident that you're that jerk?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Free drink hack. Pre-warning, this only works realistically once.
How's it going, JR?
Hi. A couple fakes engagement to get free drinks from stranger in a bar.
Strangers
Strangers in a bar.
That's actually kind of fucked up.
It kind of is. A couple who fancied saving some cash on their travels came up with a devious plan to ensure they didn't have to pay for drinks all night.
Thank you, Esfera. Not the asshole we wanted, but he is the asshole we deserve.
Yes.
Aww.
Corinne Miller and her boyfriend Adam Carolla. Carol. Whatever. My brain went in with some. Yeah.
She was still caught on cars.
Yeah. Went on a trip to Atlanta to celebrate her birthday. Just 1 month into their relationship. Despite it being very early days, they decided to fake a marriage proposal in a bar in full view of other revelers who would want to celebrate their moment with them. The couple from Alabama even roped in one of the bartenders and another drinker to go along with the cheeky con to make sure it all went off without a hitch.
They got other people in on it?
Yes. It worked, and it worked. They managed to bag free shots from several kind strangers who caught up in the romance, and they even took a celebrations to a second bar where they were treated to more drinks to toast to their engagement.
Oh.
6 months down the line from their trip last July, sales worked Adam 28 popped the question again, but this time there was nothing fake about the proposal. He actually did it in front of family.
Good for
So,
him.
Good boy.
at least he didn't do it at a bar because she might have thought,
That it was just another attempt to get more drinks.
like, are we drinking for free tonight? You didn't tell me.
I'm glad they actually got engaged. That's very sweet.
Yes.
Very creative. We've had a few very creative stories tonight. Asfera says, I miss your help for the Guild List voice. Thank you, Asfera. I do what I can. As I told Steve, who wants more content, there is a video in the works. You can blame Wren for the torment that you're going to be going through with it. I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but it will be coming soon.
You
So,
went down that rabbit hole. That's not my fault.
You know what? You led me to the well and forced my head down into it. I blame you 100%.
Technically,
She gave you a swirly?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Is she gave you a YouTube swirly?
Yes. And after I listened to a couple of the videos, I definitely felt like my head was spinning.
See, technically you did it to yourself because the second you heard Blalix Jones and asked me, what's that? You opened yourself up to it.
She's not wrong.
You could have ignored the comment in chat. You asked me and I went, oh, okay, I'll tell you.
Asfar says, your narrated stories are great. Well, thank you. I don't have anything else to read, really.
Ray!
What?
You know, there is technically an offer for, what was it, the third Taken by the T-Rex book?
No, we're not talking about those.
There is a third one. You haven't read that one yet.
I don't want to read that.
We already agreed, what was it, $100 to read that one?
Good night, Alien.
Good night, damn alien.
Wasn't he already paid for that?
No.
No, he was paid for the first two. We agreed it was like $100 or something for like the third one.
Asfera, if you hope, I do have a book that I started reading. I haven't finished it. Let me get the link for you. Talk amongst yourselves, ladies.
Oh, we will.
So, yeah, we need to get him reading again.
We do.
You don't need to get me reading again.
We need to get him reading something sexy.
Something fun.
Okay, something sexy, something fun. That's fine.
Get him to, you know what we could get him to read?
What?
That would be a classic, and right now would be well timed because there's a movie coming out.
Ooh?
Something by Jane Austen.
I am not reading Jane Austen.
Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility. I mean, Emma just came out in the theaters.
No, I'm not reading that.
We could do Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I'm not reading that either. Oh, okay, so, yeah, that's the War of the Worlds thing, yes. I only got to chapter 8, I never finished it. But, yeah, I was reading War of the Worlds. For anyone who wants to read it, I'll put wants to listen to it, that's the link to the playlist. I'm not reading Jane Austen. I'm not reading Jane Austen and anything mixed in with her horrible stories. I don't care.
Her stories are not horrible. They are timeless social commentary mixed with romance.
You know what I will read? Something that I like. Alright? I will read... I like Rick Riordan. I really do. The Percy Jackson series. I'm reading his Red Pyramid... or listening to his Red Pyramid series right now on Audible. What?
There's more. We've already had him retaken by the T-Rex and ravished by the Triceratops.
There's any number of silly pornography books that are available.
There's Taken by the Pterodactyl and In the Velociraptor's Nest.
Yes, there's that one too.
See, as far as talking about actual good stories, reading things that aren't going to make people want to bend over backwards and break their own backs from cringe,
How about Doing the Dragon?
that doesn't sound any better.
Sounds like a win to me.
No.
As far as requesting the Telltale Heart or other Poe. Now,
So-
I could get behind that.
Here's the thing. I was actually going to do that after I got done reading War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
War of the Worlds, unfortunately, didn't get any traction. So I kind of... Antoine, that channel, Antoine the Great, is literally a secondary channel that I kind of just forgot that was there. But it's not a bad story to read. And then I was going to do a Telltale Heart or something other done by Poe. And then I was going to move on to other stories. I just never got back to it.
Don't you forget, there's Taken by the Pterodactyl. We still have to finish that trilogy.
I notice you're continuing to edge towards these cringe things, and we're talking about actual. We're talking about actual, books.
Well, see, it's well and good to have you, and you do have a great voice, and listening to you read things like that is awesome. But we also love hearing your suffering in your great voice.
Yes.
And Poe isn't going to make you suffer.
We could go with some good paranormal romance.
Ooh.
Like good stuff, not Twilight.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah. I've got a series that I absolutely love that needs way more exposure than it gets. There's any number of short stories that are out there that are good.
All right, hold on just a second. Ishtar.
Uh-huh.
For me to do this stuff, you're going to have to give something up.
What?
Time with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
True.
But if we do get him to read something and it has just even the slightest bit of making him uncomfortable, that could be... Could you do that?
I have to think about it.
Because I have no problem with taking a day and sitting in my office reading a book into a microphone and doing it in chapters. The problem is the person that is sitting in that chair has a problem with her boyfriend having his attention diverted anywhere except her.
Now, I have gotten a lot better about sharing my time with him for his videos and such.
One day, I guess.
Except it's not just one day. Because then there's editing.
There's breaks. There are breaks.
There's other days other evenings where he has to record video games. And then he's got to edit those.
How's it going, Turd? Turd Ferguson says Edgar Allan Poe had no problem getting behind his cousin. Not wrong.
And someone's suggesting Movie Bob's book. Oh.
So unless we're doing like a live reading, like we take a half hour on stream here and do it then, I really would need to think about that. Because I don't get nearly enough of his time as it is.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time.
Yes, I'm a greedy whore. I'm not ashamed.
It's about that time. We have had a very interesting evening, it seems. Talking about actual books being read, not cringy, weird, sleeping with dinosaurs books.
Oh no, we're going to get you to read those.
We're going to get you to read those because your suffering is entertainment.
Someone's going to pay for it.
We have also found out that Florida Man can be creative.
Indeed he can.
And vindictive and a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
But we also found out that not only can you not drink the water in Mexico, you should probably not eat pork. Or else you'll
Probably
get
not.
a tapeworm in your brain. And
Oh.
Ishtar is a fan of board games, especially old ones that no one else knows how to play. So, I'm not reading zombie porn either. No,
It
I
exists.
refuse.
I can find it.
No, I refuse to read it. I don't care how much gets
No,
paid for it.
You won't read it, and it's not nice to ask him to.
Okay, fine. Not zombie.
So,
Do you count vampires as zombies? Because technically they are undead.
no, vampires and zombies are two completely different things.
Okay, so we can move on. Vampires.
Anyway.
Werewolves.
Vampires and
Anyway.
werewolves.
This has been MSNBC, my snarky news broadcasting channel. All of the news, none of the pants. And I can guarantee one of my two gorgeous co-hosts were not wearing their knickers today. I'll let you figure out which one. Wren from Renelations or Shitlords Anonymous.
Later, guys.
Or Ishtar from her own Twitch streams where she plays a character on Cyberdemon Gaming.
Good night, guys.
And of course, my name is Antoine the Great. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And we'll catch you all next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.